Sunday Mass in a Paris church. Plenty of worshippers are here today, despite the recent child sex abuse scandal.
It's a terrible blow to the church. I would never have believed that there were so many cases.
Many of the victims suffered for decades in silence, like Jean-François Bonnat. Before, he says he was a happy child with good marks at school. Then, when he was 11, his parents sent him to a summer camp run by the Catholic Church.
It started on the second night. There was a priest. He'd assigned me the bed in the back corner. He clearly had his eye on me from the start. He pulled his chair close to the bed, and then he touched my genitals. And I had to touch his. I felt his pubic hair. I didn't know what it was. I hadn't even reached puberty.
He says he didn't dare to say anything or resist, and the next night was even worse.
He turned me onto my back. I don't recall how I ended up undressed all of a sudden, but I remember his weight behind me. And then he came every night and he raped me every night, except the last 2 days. Every night.
His life changed forever after that summer. He felt unable to tell anyone what had happened.
If I told my father, he wouldn't have believed me. That's still true today, I can tell. My father simply can't imagine that a priest would do such a thing.
He was never able to recover from the trauma. The experience left him with a chronic health condition. It was cases such as these that forced the Catholic Church in France to set up an independent commission, with shocking results. The investigation found that over the past 70 years, some 300,000 children have been victims of sexual abuse at the hands of the Catholic Church. Psychologist Carole Damiani also worked on the report. She spoke with dozens of victims.
We
met many people who were 60, 70, or 80, and were talking about the crimes for the first time. It was unbelievable. Nobody had acknowledged them. Nobody had helped them. The system protected the perpetrators. They were hardly ever punished. Usually they were just transferred and would continue what they were doing elsewhere.
The priest who raped Jean-François Bonnat was also never brought to account. Bonnat could only bring himself to report the priest 3 years ago. A bishop then contacted him.
The phone call lasted exactly 37 seconds. The bishop wasn't sincere. There was no apology of any kind. He just said that he was praying for me. Completely insane.
Despite the report, the spokesman for the Bishops' Conference of France insists that the Church alone is not to blame.
The bishops are responsible, but so are other people too. For example, the families or other guardians. We need some larger changes in our society so that every person pays attention to each other.
Many Catholics believe the Church is not doing enough for the victims and is failing to take action.
There has to be a clean-up. Otherwise, there will always be doubts. So many cases on such a scale. Things need to be cleaned up in the Church.
Jean-François Bonnat hopes that pressure from practicing Catholics can help bring more perpetrators to justice. But he's lost faith in the idea that the Church itself will face the reality of what happened.